Assalamu alaikum and a very good afternoon to everyone. Welcome to another round of our exciting workshop on build your online business today with Shopify. In this session, we have partnered with Sevier College and by Circle Women Pakistan, whose mission is to advance women's economic participation and empowerment through innovative and entrepreneurship campaigns and research. We develop and support the entrepreneurial and leadership capacity of women and youth in Pakistan to bring about economic change and social change. Some of the initiatives by Circle include Tech Grow, She Loves Tech, and Elevate. Circle believes that it is critical for Pakistan's progress to invest in youth and to build confidence, capacity, and create platforms for them to bring their ideas forward. These workshops are supported by Frederick Foundation for Freedom, FNFF, which aims to contribute to the enhancement of soft skills in the fields of entrepreneurship, business management, strategic leadership, and responsible citizenship. Today's session on Build Your Online Business today with Shopify will be conducted by a very Mr. Abdul Halan Sheikh, who is a driven and motivated professional with over 4 years of experience in SaaS product design and implementations for customers in South Africa and South Asia. He has been enabling small-scale businesses to establish their online presence, and expertise lies in analyzing the best processes and practices for small-scale businesses. Let me welcome our reputable trainer today who's here with us, Mr. Abdul Hanan.
Thank you. Will please let me share my screen.
Sure.
Okay. So welcome all the students. I hope all of you are doing fine. So we would like to make this workshop interactive because we want you to learn as much as possible today. And you might have questions that come through. You can always reach out to me via LinkedIn, or you can have my email. You can get my email credentials through the Circle or the She Loves Tech representatives here. So what we'll be covering today is basically why do we need an online presence? What's the benefit of having an online presence rather than having a on base or a shop that's actually present in the real world? And we'll look into what Shopify provides you and how we can set up Shopify in the least amount of time that's available and with the least amount of technical knowledge that you have. So why the first question that I would like to ask you, or you should ask yourself, why do we need to sell online? Okay, first of all, online setup is quite easy. What you have to do is just a minimum cost. All you need is a website. You can have multiple platforms like Shopify, and there are other also platforms, or you can just go ahead, download WordPress. You can set up a shop via WordPress or any other platform that you feel comfortable with. It doesn't require a lot of cost. For an online setup, you don't need the funding to have a warehouse, have a physical shop, which could be used to run your business. So all that is not required. So the overall cost of everything gets reduced and with a really high percentage. Then your reach also increases when you are selling online. Okay, is it? Can everybody hear me clearly? Yeah, I guess so. If something comes up, you can always send me a message if I'm not able to you can't hear me clearly, or is there some sort of distortion? I hope there isn't much. Sorry for the inconvenience if anything causes because of the internet or any other issue. So then what I was talking about is reach. Your reach isn't local. For example, in Karachi, if you're sitting in Karachi and you have a shop physically present in Karachi, what you have is the people that are around you or that can reach to you. But when you're selling online, you don't have to worry about that reach. People could reach out or search about you uh, from anywhere in the world. Also within Pakistan, your reach increases. So that's the local, regional, global market that you are able to reach. Then the users also increase. For a day, if on a physical shop, you might get 50 customers that just come around and look at you. But when you're online, people are searching continuously to move to their shops to online, because the reach is continuous and it increases as you market along your products. Then it is easy to scale. For example, if you want to scale your market to a larger scale, all you need in online presence would be a warehouse. The warehouse could be 2 warehouses in the future also. So it's something that you're easy to scale. You don't have to look for good locations at warehouses, because at the end of the day, if you plan to open up a shop somewhere in Defense or Clifton in Karachi, what happens is that the market rate is quite high for a shop. But in warehouses, you can have warehouses in remote areas also, just because you don't want that facility to ease of access is not required. Then your operations is 24 hours available online. So one of the key features is that then there's a wide niche you can choose from. For example, if we look in Pakistan, there are a lot of things that you don't find on physical shops. For example, let's say there's a duration at the end of year where everybody loves to travel. There's cold. We have cold winters on the north side, and people need stuff like jackets, or you can say that accessories for hiking or roaming around. So those, you can have wide variety of needs. This is one of the niches I'm talking about here. There could be a lot of more niches. If you The next point would be, if you already have a physical presence somewhere in Pakistan or outside Pakistan, when you set up an online shop, it's going to give you a new income stream. From income stream, I mean that you might be earning from your physical shop, but when you have an online presence along with your physical shop, it's a new income stream completely. Because your reach increases. So some of the key reasons to why do you need to sell online, why selling online is more preferable than selling physically across the counters. So why do you need an online shop to sell online? It's in basically what happens is that to sell online, there are a lot of sellers you might see on Facebook, Instagram that are selling their products, but I find it really difficult to go through their products because they're not in an organized form. They don't have a proper distribution channel. As far as it's really difficult to manage the increasing users and market unless you have a proper platform or a proper website to it. So one few of the reasons why do you need a proper online shop, or in comparison with the online platforms that you're selling on, or you plan to sell on, is that when your foot traffic increase, it's really difficult to manage stuff on your social media platform, but because they don't have that key management features that is required for any of the online presence. If you want to scale up, it gets really difficult. Then your online presence indirectly also increases your sale. When you have an online shop, people find it reliable that this is not some person who's selling via a social media page. They have a proper shop, they have a proper website, they have proper processes. There's a formal way, because unless you don't have a formal way, it's really difficult in Pakistan to rely on something, because as far as my experience is concerned, it's something that's personal. If the shop I'm buying from online doesn't look good, I am a bit hesitant of buying stuff. That's how the human psychology works. Then having an online shop also creates awareness of your products in the market, because if one buys it from your shop, it's easy to recommend anybody. And word to mouth marketing is one of the key successes of online market. People rely on word to mouth, because the more you reliable are, the more people are going to recommend you to others, and when it happens, at the end of the day, your sales get increased accordingly. So that's why you need an online presence and a proper online shop. So the next thing what we are going to look at is, what is Shopify. Shopify is one stop online solution for your online stores. It's basically something that a novice user can set up, that anybody who has a minimum knowledge of computer, internet, can easily set up. And it's really common among youngsters these days that they have the mindset to set up stuff, but when it comes to creating an online presence, they hesitate a lot, because they think they're not qualified enough to do that. But what does Shopify help you with? Shopify eliminates that fear, gives you control, gives you all the user friendly control to design your shop, manage your processes, and set up a smooth process for your upcoming clients or your existing clients. So that's what Shopify does. It has the storefront. It allows you to manage your products, your inventory, track your payments, track your orders, and respond to your orders accordingly. Then it's all via one click management. It's all under one roof, all these solutions. It's not something you need to get or reach out to different peoples to get that one shop that you want to set up. So Shopify gives you all that in under one roof. So some of the famous brands, we look at some Pakistani brands who have been using Shopify also. As we move on to the hands-on, I'll exactly show you their website, how they have been setting up, and they're really big brands that are using Shopify also. But some of the good famous international brands are also using Shopify. One of them is Heinz. You might have came across in Pakistan, their ketchup, which they have been selling. So they have a really good website. One of the screenshots I have attached with it. So they are using Shopify to sell their product. So 150 years old giants are using Shopify. It's not something that is not common across the world. A lot of brands are using it, and there are other brands also. One of the other brands is Red Bull. Basically, Red Bull is a drink. They don't sell their uh, drink online, but they have their supporting products like their watches or any other accessories they take out for their brand is being sorry. Okay, something. Sorry, there was some message in the chat I was reading. So they're selling their products like jackets, backpacks, and other watches stuff online via Shopify. So Shopify is just like a normal website. It has a user view that your clients are going to view, and there is some managerial view that online businessmen or anybody who has a shop on Shopify can view. And we'll have a detailed look at what we'll be looking at exactly. So for you to have a better uh, understanding of what Shopify is. So once we know what Shopify is, let's look at some of the features that Shopify provides. Shopify has 70 plus professional teams. Uh, it provides you how you want to have a look and feel of your website. There could be 100 ways to design your website, and whenever it comes to your website, it should be good enough. Uh, it should be good enough so that customers get in traffic. So there's a question. The difference between the website of any brand and shifting to Spotify is like all the payments messages will be responded and handled by Shopify team instead of us, right? No, Shopify is a platform. So the team doesn't get changed. Shopify isn't providing you a team that's working on behalf of you. You need to work yourself on Shopify, but Shopify provides you, for example, if I ask anybody, I go in the market, all I need is a website. Now, the web for developing a website, it requires technical knowledge. I know I should know how to code. I know how what's the market standard is. When you're dealing online, you have to protect your customer data. You have to handle online payments. You need to go to a bank, have a contract with them, so that they process your online payments that come through your website. So all this management or the technical knowledge that you need to set up on the website gets eliminated when you're using Shopify. So that's what Shopify is, and you'll understand this because verbally it's not explainable in a way that you might be able to grab it 100%. If one shortly we'll be looking at the demo, we'll have an hands-on practice of how we can do stuff. So we'll look into it shortly. Then Shopify provides you something that's a responsive website. You don't have to worry about that if you want to open up your website on a laptop or a mobile or a tab or any size screen you like. So Shopify provides you such a flexibility that once you set up your website there, it's mobile friendly, and people nowadays are really looking forward to such a feature because 90-95% of the people are using or accessing the websites using their phone. Then it provides you a full platform for blogging. Basically what happens is when you're in an online business, you need to market your products in a way. You need to present your researchers that why are you selling this product, why is your product better than others. So blogging is the best way to do it, and your blog, people do read blogs. This is a common misunderstanding that people don't read blogs, but when it comes to buying stuff and researching about stuff, people really rely on the information they get before they make a decision. So Shopify also provides you a platform to set up your own blogs for your products, for your website. Then I was talking about security because data protection is one of the key elements when you are there aren't much laws about it in Pakistan, but when you're selling internationally, you really have to be really careful about how your data is secured and everything is handled securely. So Shopify provides you the state of art security. It's compliant with all the laws that are out there in multiple countries, including the UK or the EU regions GDPR policy, that's the data protection policy, or the South Asian region policies. All those policies are catered for. They are meeting all those standards. Then you can the next one of the key features is that multi-payment methods in secure shipping cart. Your shopping cart, shopping cart, your shopping cart is a really personal thing which needs to be secured. You don't want access to what someone is shopping. It's a personal thing. So, and the payment is also a key feature of it, that you don't want to handle the cash on delivery. It's hectic for people of young age. They are much more happier if they can pay online and just rely to get these things delivered. So you can have multiple payment mode, you can have cash on delivery, you can have bank transfers, you can have online payments. You For the online payment providers, there could be multiple providers based on your country. In Pakistan there are also multiple. You can set up multiple providers also. The next thing comes up is the search engine optimization. Now, what is search engine optimization? All of you have been using Google. You search something. Now there's a way how this Google reacts to the keywords you enter in the search bar and pop ups the best possible result. So all that is being handled because when you're developing your website based on your products and your keywords that you enter for your products, these data engines get is reading all that, and the more better keywords you use, the more visible your website would be on the search results. Yes, cash on delivery is an option that's available in Shopify. Yeah, it can be completely custom. We look into it. It's something that you can design. It's totally based on front end. Basically, using your screen, you'll be able to design how your website look, what colors, what brand, what logo you want to use, how you want to have the website, your landing page, or all your other pages. It's totally how you want it. So it's something that's customizable. Then another thing in an online business or any business that requires inventory management, that for example you are selling 600 items on your website. Now you have to manage your inventory, and it's not an easy job. When it comes to managing, you need to make sure that how many boxes you have. So that whole module of inventory management is something that's available in Shopify. You enter your number. When it uh, comes down to a certain value, you get notified. You know which one to order, what things to order, which are getting consumed quickly, which are not getting sold out. So all this information or inventory management is available. Then Shopify also provides you digital products. The products which we usually get are physical products. The digital products, for example, if you are doing an online course or an ebook, that's a digital product. You can manage your ebooks also, or any other digital products be using Shopify. Then the organization of products, how you want to organize your products into different categories, based on some tags or any other, how you want to manage your products into categories, or how you want to organize your products. That's also something that you can do using Shopify. We'll look into it when you're adding a product. What features or what options do you have to categorize your products? So this is pretty much it for what Shopify is. We'll be swifting towards what the demo is actually. So let me switch my screen to the complete screen. So let me know if I've switched my screen to shopify.com. Is it visible to everybody?
Yeah, it's visible.
Okay. Does Shopify provide you? Yes. Yes, they provide you analytics for all the customers you have. Even they have options like if somebody added something in the cart and they didn't buy it, you can set up options to send them email after an hour, 6 hours, and all that tracking of what is being sold, how many revenue it is. It's all getting tracked, and you have analytics there to uh, support that. So yeah, brands, they're clothing brands. So one of the key brands in Pakistan that's using Shopify and has a huge amount of sales is Limelight. You can see that you would have not known before this that whenever you go to a website, this is a Shopify hosted website. And look, as you just asked me, can we customize it? I think so. This is the answer to that. You can customize it as you want. Like, for example, they have this category of handbags. As I was talking, the product organization is something you can keep however you want. Then another website is the Sapphire. Another website. These I've taken out the four topmost websites that are earning a lot via Shopify. So the customizability, you can see, is totally up to you. Yeah, some of the customizability does need some technical knowledge behind it, but most of them is can be handled using the front end. And we'll see that what is available in the front end. But Shopify does provide you to, if you have the basic knowledge of HTML, CSS, you can customize your website. So another store that's based from Faisalabad is one of my good friends is the ELO, Export Leftovers, which is also running on Shopify. Uh, Yeah, Shopify maintains promises 99% uptime, and they are really reliable because not only in Pakistan, people across the world are using it. They have a defined workflow of how to manage things. You don't have to worry about that. Okay, this is a buggy issue, and if something comes up, that's an issue, or it's something that's not your responsibility. Shopify promises to fix it within 24 hours. Usually gets fixed within an hour if something comes up. Usually it doesn't, but yeah, it's quite a smooth and a really effective way of setting up your online shop. So another one was Orient. So yeah. You can see that these are some of the Pakistani brands that are using Shopify. So to set up the Shopify website, you don't have to do much. All you need to do is come to www.shopify.com. Now you can see that they have a lot of options. You will find some short courses, some reading material on their website, how to manage your shop in a best way. You can always come here and look at it. But as this is a hands-on practice, we would more be interested in setting up a shop online. So let's click here, start free trial. So Shopify, what does Shopify provide you is a 14-day trial on Shopify where you can learn about things. You can set up your shop. After 14 days, it does want you to charge, pay for it because their services are getting used. So you can try on a 14-day trial and set up your shop. So let me set up one shop for today. So learn Pakistan 124. So this is a shop name. If you have your own brand, you can set it up accordingly. I'm just appending a number just to make sure that it's a unique name. So once I click on create your store, what it does is it's creating a store for me with the basic setup, and it's going to ask me some questions. So as it is getting set up, are there any questions from your side that you would like to ask as we are proceeding to it? So you can see that now the URL has changed from a specific URL to what the shop name was. Learn Pakistan dash 1234. So yeah, it is a complete website. Yeah, you can have a custom domain mapped over it. For example, uh, this is a custom domain. Whatever your website, your company name is, should have a domain. You can map it here, so people would access it via your custom domain. So here are some basic questions that before setting up the shop you have to answer. So are you already selling? I would say I'm just playing around. So yeah, you can ask for help to create a logo, brainstorm the name of businesses according to what you want. You can select them. It's going to give you some tool tips as you're proceeding with setting up your shop. What's your current revenue? Basically, if you're already selling, you must have a revenue. For now, for starters, we usually keep it at 0 PKR. Which industry are you operating in? This is the niche you are operating in, because let's say we are operating in sports. So it's going to give you suggestions, or when you search for themes, it's going to show up the sports themes at the top, and according to your need you'll be able to see them. So this is one of the, it doesn't really impact anything much in the downstream, but for just helping out, Shopify is suggesting you things based on your niche of operating your business. So are you setting up store for a client? No, you are setting it up for yourself. You can keep it unchecked and we click on next. So it's going to ask me some details about me. So now basically, where's your default address? So for example, I'm based in Islamabad. I'll say that Islamabad is my address. This is where basically what happens is that you can have multiple stores within your brand. For example, if I have an online shop, I can have two warehouses, one based in Karachi to cater for my clients based in Karachi and Balochistan, whereas for the northern region, I can have a warehouse set up in Islamabad, Rawalpindi, or any other side, Lahore. So a lot of brands do that so that the delivery time to your customers get reduced and they're happy with it. So for now, the first I would set it up as Islamabad, or we can keep it as Karachi also. Yeah, 44,000. So there isn't any buzz email or website that already has, so I'll keep it as empty. This is a registered business. For now, you might not have a registered business, so you can keep it as unchecked. So setting up an online shop does have some legal requirements also. You need to get your business registered because of the taxes and stuff. I guess a lawyer would be able to help you much more better that what you want to do. It's an easy step, but something that's not my forte, so I won't comment on that. What's a registered business and what's an unregistered business? So now you can see that the shop has been set up. Now I have landed to some sort of admin panel overall. So where I can see that uh, I have your trial has just started. I can select a plan. So one of the main questions that comes for it, how much does Shopify cost? So it's depending on your plan. Shopify has three plans basically. One is a starter plan that provides you with it's more about how big your organization is or how big your business is, how many people are handling that business. You might need more people to handle your business as it grows, so that's more like what your plan is. So starts 29 per month, and each of this has some detailed staff accounts. For example, staff accounts, all the management would be done by staff. So how many staff accounts do you need? Then how many locations can you set? So I set up the first location as Islamabad, and if I need more locations, I can just easily and go and set up I can set up till 4 locations. So if I don't have more than 4 locations and 2 staff members, I'm fine with $29 per month. Then if you want to have more locations and staff, you can have 5 staffs in 5 locations. As well as if you are really big organizations, now you need more, you can have. Then there are some plans also that are not available publicly. Based on how much you grow, you can always contact Shopify to get a custom plan. So these are something that's available on the website. So let's go to home. Now on the left hand side, you are able to see the brand name. And okay, so I've opened up. I have 2 shops. Basically, I am a registered user at Shopify. I already have another shop set up, and there's the one that I just set up is the Learning Pakistan 124. I would like you to explain what token is to everybody. I'll answer it. I'll show you how you can integrate multiple stuffs and the external apps also that are required by Shopify. Shopify provides a lot of third-party apps that can be installed. So on the landing page, once we come up, so you can find products, browse your sourcing apps. We can customize the theme, and we can add a custom domain. So you can, if you have a custom domain, you can add it up from here. And if not, people can use the domain that Shopify is providing you. Then the second option, we have customize theme. First of all, let's go and select, find a theme good enough for ourselves. Let me open this store that I set up for today's. So if you look at it, having some knowledge about Shopify, I was able to set up this shop. It's just a simple shop that is set up to view all how a normal website would look at. There's nothing custom in it. It's just a plain website that I used Shopify, plainly Shopify, no technicalities required using Shopify. Now you can see that the features collection is coming up as sale products are coming up. Then I have some customer feedback and a newsletter option and some of my social media coverage icons. So that's what the homepage is like. I have my own logo behind it. I have some announcements coming up at the top. I can see I've set up some pages according to my need. All my products are coming up. If I want to see accessories, so I can just click on here as the list of accessory. I was basically setting up a shop, as I mentioned that it's winter's coming up and people would require tracking gadgets or some winter goodies that are required for traveling stuff. So I have bags, I have jackets. So it only took me around about 4 hours to set up a shop at Shopify, from selecting the products, loading them, managing their prices, variations, setting up the payment methods. That is something that I have to do on some regular basis. So it took me around 4 hours. For a novice user or people at anyone who hasn't used Shopify first would roundabout take you 2-3 days at max, but you'll have a running shop in a time of 2-3 days, which is a great achievement when it comes to selling online. And you can see that the customer experience isn't that bad. You might have seen shops who are selling online with having a really bad customer experience. So yeah, so this is one. Let's go back now. What I did was, oh, yeah, this is the website. So yeah, it gives me a warning that my store is password protected because it gets online as soon as you create a website. So you want to keep the password enabled so that nobody from the outside can access your shop and go through your products. It's going to restrict them. So that's why they say once you are done with developing your website, you can disable the password, and it would be live for use, and people will be start ordering on your website. So current theme is the debut theme that's available. You can customize the debut theme also, and you can see how it is currently looking like. This is what the website is, and it's on what's on the phone. Let's open up this website also, so we can see that how it is looking actually. Then we have the theme library. You can have Shopify theme store. You can explore free themes also. We look at free themes, and you can on your own time you can also look at some themes, paid themes or like this. It's password protected. Now you can see that it has set up a shop with, and the front page looks like this. So that's what the shop is. Now what we have to do is we have to select a theme that how do you want your shop to look like. Let's select something. Let's do this. So once I've done, you have some styles included. For example, snowboards. There's a style for boxing and outdoors also. It really changes the view of the website. Let's let it get loaded. Okay, basically, Zoya, Shopify doesn't provide you something to create high def logos. It suggests you a normal logo, and I would recommend you to explore Photoshop, and there are a lot of other logo designing products online and offline also that would help you create a better logo. So my personal recommendation to anybody who is starting their website should have a logo, because your logo represents your brand. And once that brand, because if you see the any brand, the logo is something that people remember. For example, Coke. For example, let's say Lay's. So all these brands have a logo with a meaning to it. So as somebody who initializes a lot of business, the first thing I ask my customers or my clients is, what's your logo like? What's the story behind the logo? And there are people who don't have a story behind the logo, but for someone, I would suggest everybody should have a story behind the logo or some motive behind the logo. So my recommendation would be to design a logo or to get your logo designed back, because that's the representation of your brand. So once I selected outdoor, you can see that the look and the feel of the website just got in. Let me switch to boxing. And I guess this has gotten loaded. And yeah, now you can see that once I was selecting the styles, the theme of the website is also getting changed. So it's upon you, how do you want to make your website look like. I'll go with snowboards for now. So something that is a common misunderstanding, that once I've selected the theme and I'll apply it, my website is going to start looking like what we saw in the snapshot. It's not the case, because you don't have the products in the on the website. You haven't selected the color theme of the website. It's just going to give you a flexibility to make your website look like that. So you'll have to put in an effort. So let's, I guess, publish it. Yes, let's publish it. We can review it in parallel with here. Theme has been published. So you can see that the basic look and feel of the website has changed. So if I, before reloading it, now the website is looking like this. I'll reload it as the new theme has been applied. So you can see that overall the color theme is coming up, and you might see some changes coming up, but still it's an empty canvas that we call. So it requires some of your attention. Okay, so now what we're gonna have to do is we have to go and customize the theme. So if I click on customize, this is something that everybody is looking forward, but this is one aspect of how you want to make your website look like. And I guess you should have the patience to work on it, because sometimes it gets the best of you. You are not able to get the result you feel like, but you don't have to stop there, because there are a million options coming up. So on the left hand panel, I've opened up. Now you can see your website coming up on the right hand side. On the left hand side, there are some options coming up. So currently the template is of the home page. So home page currently has a header. Then there's a slideshow. So you can see, if you would be able to relate to it, that the header, then we have a slideshow. If I scroll more down, then there's a collection page. So you can see there's a collection list coming up, and if I unhide it, it's gonna go. Then we have some home page, basically your pages coming up, if you want to view all pages or not. Then the next thing that's coming up is the images with text. So if you want to have some branding or some of your featured products up here, you can do that. And you can add some section, and at the end you have a footer. So that's the basic way of how your website would look. So for example, I don't want to have image with text. I don't want this. I just want my website to be just a good landing page with a header, uh, 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 what we call is a slideshow or a carousel. Then we have some products and a footer. So we don't want much from our first page to overwhelm our customers. So what I'll do now, I have to start customizing it. So first of all, the header comes here. So if you click on the header, now it's going to give me some options. I can add some logo. I can set, let's select a logo for now, as the gallery is empty. So I had some logos with me. Mm, If you don't like it, you can change it anytime you want. This is a favicon. Here's the logo. Yeah. So the logo just got loaded. Now I see that the logo is a lot bigger than I would like it to be. So I can go ahead and make it smaller according to how much I want it to be. For example, 100 is too small. Let's set it 250. 250 is a bit bigger. Let's go to 175. Looks reasonable. So this is how I set up my logo. Then I have some options to manage my menu. We'll come back to this once we set up the different pages, and we can add those different pages here. So it's menu, that's something dynamic, and you can set up the way you want it. So if we click on change, there's no menu item. You'll have to create your menu items and link them here. We'll look into it how yeah, to do that. We can either remove the menu if you want to. We can completely remove the menu from here, but menu is something that's good enough. So there are websites that don't have a menu because they nowadays there's also something it's in trend to have a single page website. You just keep on scrolling and scrolling. So in those cases you don't need a menu. So yeah, there's one way to do that. You can have that menu. So I'll just undo it because I need the menu and I just deleted it. I shouldn't have deleted. Let's go back and customize it again. Okay, I'll keep the menu. Now there's another thing as announcement bar. So announcement bar was something that's coming up at the top. So let me, for example, you have this option or you have some themes coming up. Oh, sorry, from I didn't mean themes. Basically, you have some sale coming up and you want all your customers to be able to whenever they land on your website, they know that there's a sale going on. So this is what the head announcement would look like. You can have whatever text you like. You can set it up, and so for now we'll keep it as unchecked, and we'll decide as we go on that how do you want. There could be some text to an announcement, or you can add a link. Your link could be any other page, your sale website page, view here, or any other external link also that you want to set up. This is what the header is. So you can see that it didn't provide me any option to toggle this search button and these are some delivered features of the what we call is Shopify. The shopping cart is where the people are dropping their products and the checkout process starts, and search is something that's delivered, so everybody requires search. So it is something that's not can be disabled with that. Then the second thing that comes up here is that the slideshow. So I recommend that every time you make some changes, you save it. Unless if you don't save it, they don't reflect back. So you can see that there are some. Once I opened up slideshow, I've opened up, there is content coming up, slides and slides. Basically, slides are the pictures that are you can set up on this carousel. Let me like uh, assign a few. Let's use this one. Really doesn't look that good. What about this one? You can see that once I uploaded, it gave me an error that it wasn't able to upload it due to some error. So let's select another one. Yeah, this one is blur. There we can stick back to the other one. So we can go and select. Now what happens is you can see that the image is this is the image and it's bit coming up in the center, and I want to make it as top left, top center. I want it to be top right or center right, middle right. So I can keep it as middle. Now what did was it adjusted basically based on the frame of how this looks. Now the thing that we can do next is that we can add best gadgets. So I can add a heading with it. Right. So after customization and other stuff, we can register a brand website and also set up a plan. On yes, you can do that. It's just a few clicks. So for this website, it's basically I have selected a plan. I can basically use this to check out right now. So you can see that I have been placing orders. This is the admin panel to this website, and the orders are coming up. I can This is me placing the order, but I can look into orders. So once you have done all that, you can set up the entire shop and register your brand and start selling within 2 to 3 days. And you can always come back, customize, upgrade your website. So there are brands within Pakistan. A lot of people who are selling accessories for electronic accessories use uh, Shopify to set up, and they have grown over the past few years. One of my university colleagues started this, and they have expanded their website. If you would like to see, you can always go to allmytech.com .pk or .com and look at their. They started off with Shopify, and they started off with a small footage. Now they have grown all over Pakistan, and people rely on them because of the best products and the reliability and the user experience. So I adjusted the image, I adjusted the text, and I can put a button if I want to view all products. I don't want to, neither do I want to give a link. So I can keep it here, and I can just go back. And then if I want to select, for example, I want to set up a carousel, I can. If I don't want to set up a carousel, I can just go and delete this. From here, it's gonna now come back to just one image. But to have a carousel, let's set up a carousel with the second image also. And for this alignment looks fine. And let's get what you need, and we'll skip this label button. And now comes in, how quickly do you want me to basically change the carousel. So minimum is 3 seconds you can do. So I click on done. Now as soon as I'm getting saved, look, where's the website that we had opened for this? It's here. Now let me refresh the website and see how the changes get reflected. Now this is what your live website is going to look like as you made the changes. So you can see that what I did is, you can go and view it. You are able to view it up here also, but you can in parallel also go and view it on your actual websites. For example, you might not be able to get that the pixels are coming up blur. You are able to, but if you want to have a full view of it, it's still blur. You can find a better picture. You can get a picture design. So it's upon how you want to handle things. Now I have done with the slide. So now collection list. We can come back to the collection list. What is collections? Collection is basically grouping of your products in the app and how you want to do that. So for example, if I look here, I have collection of accessories. Now these are all the accessories. I create a group of products. My all products could have a lot of things, but I can set up, as we mentioned, that the product organization is quite flexible here. So you can have your products organized in a way based on collections in Shopify. So we'll come to it when we look into collections. So it's, and the last thing that we can look here is the footer. Now footer is something that includes a lot of things, usually has some key elements or policies of your organizations, or you can have your branding, uh, not branding, basically your social media handles. So if I come here, and there's a button for theme options. For example, you have your Shopify Facebook app. So then you have some Twitter. You also have a Pinterest. So as you go on adding these URLs to your shops, these are gonna get reflected here. And then you, as soon as added them, I added the four: Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, and Instagram. These logos appear here, and you can link them to your own uh, social media pages. If you want to add some content, you can add the menu text or newsletter option. If you like I added the newsletter option, you can do that. And you can also customize how it should look like. So yeah, that's how you basically manage your front end. And we look into it how you can manage your multiple pages, as we look at collections as well as pages in Shopify. So up till what we have covered is how to basically set up your basic shop on Shopify. We haven't looked into the details of how you manage your stuff or what other settings you need. Just the look and feel of your website and some basic information that requires. So any questions up till now, feel free to ask. You can ask me questions during the session also. If you don't aren't able to understand certain things, you can stop me right there and ask me about them before I move on. I guess there are no questions. I hope this means that everybody's getting what I've been explaining up till now, or nobody's getting anything. So I hope it's the first one. So this is how your basically admin panel of your website looks like. No, basically, once you are not able to pay after 14 days, your website isn't void. Shopify gives you the liberty to take your website offline and come back and later pay for later, but they do not delete your stuff. If you want to close your website after a month of non-payment, if you don't give them a decision about you are pausing your website or you're pausing uh, your business for now, or you're not going to set up, you want to set up later, they just pause your hosting and everything. You'll have to resume it later. But if you don't do any of that stuff, they're going to take down your website after 30 days. Okay. So this is what the admin panel of the website looks like. So you can see there's home, there are orders button, product management, customers, analytics, what you ask, marketing, discounts, apps, the third party apps. Then there are sales channel. Basically, say, as I was mentioning earlier, that you can have multiple sales channels. So let's see what sales channel, if I have to add a sales channel, what is. So you can have a point of sale. What's a point of sale? Basically, all of you must have used your cards, your bank cards. So you usually would have received a message that post transaction, POS. So that's POS is point of sale. So your over the counter shop or your physical shop is something point of sale. Then a buy button on your could be another. It could be linked to any third party app. For example, in parallel you are having a shop on Amazon which links back to your Shopify. That could be, if you are having an online shop on Facebook, you can have that. Google also provides that services of having a shop from which you have then Messenger and Facebook are two different. Then what's not available in Pakistan is Amazon or some wholesaler, which is also not available in Pakistan. So you can have multiple sales channels set up, but for now you only need an online store. So under that you have some settings that are available. So you have themes, we looked into it. Then I told you about that you have an entire blogging management system within your Shopify theme. You can manage those blogs. So it's easy. Create a blog needs some pictures, some content that could be set up, and you can link those to a page that would be visible on your website. Then we have management of pages. Then we have the navigation, that we menu icons. Then we have domains, that if you require custom domains. Then we have preferences, and below that, at the end, you have some settings. These are basically your product settings, or the Shopify settings that you need to look at before you move ahead. So settings could be, uh, there are a lot of settings, locations, general. So I'll open up each. Let's open up one by one. So really don't want to confuse you. Let me close the other one. So I opened up the general settings. So general settings gives me a store name if I want to update my contact information. Legal business name, as we know, if it's a legal business, you'll have to give your company name, that registered company name. It really doesn't stop you, but it's something that if you want to keep it in the system. Then your time zone, what's your working time zone, what metrics do you follow, because Shopify also provides you. So what happens is, let's say, while defining your products, you give a size of a product. So based on your shipping policies or your shipping provider, you can set up boxes. So based on that, what's the amount of volumetric amount you can set up. It would suggest you which box would you require to pack this in. Then the kilograms, based on the shipping rates. Is it a flat shipping rate? For example, for any uh, delivery within the country, I would charge 150 rupees. But no, if it's based on weight, that's what your shipping provider. You can set up those weights based on kgs, or you can set those metrics. So it's basically how you want to set up your basic information. Now, for example, this is how your orders numbers are going to get received. So learning Pakistan hashtag. So whenever my order ID gets generated, it's going to look like LP hashtag 1001. So that's how you can set up the format of what your order ID is going to look like. Then you can uh, select your store currency based on how you want it. And if you want to change the formatting of how it looks, you can always go ahead and look at rupees PKR, of how you want to keep it in HTML currency, without HTML. Then HTML is basically the language in which the websites are usually built. If Shopify is sending an email, it's going to send the currency like this. For example, rupees amount, then PKR at the end. Email without currency is rupees start this. So it's just the basic setup of your website. Then if we go back to more settings, now next comes the plans. Oh, sorry, the locations. As I was telling you earlier, you can set up on a basic plan. You can set up 4 locations. So one of the location is Islamabad. If I want to have another warehouse from which I can ship stuff, I can just do that. So as you can see, the default Paris warehouse. If somebody has international business, they can set up their international business values here, and you can have multiple locations. That's when you grow. It's not needed for somebody who is starting up their own business. So that's what is in the locations. The next one is plans and permissions. It would basically have your basic what we call is that how much you are paying, or how much you are currently charged, if you have any staff accounts, collaborator accounts, or any other login services that you are using. Or now you can also see if you want to close your store. So you can see that turn off your online services. As I mentioned, after 30 days, it's going to get deleted. And if you decide to come back within 30 days, even after closing your store, you can easily come back, and your store won't be lost. So I can also transfer ownership. It's something that's really advanced, and when you require it, when you're selling your Shopify store, you can also transfer your store. You can see what the current plan is. So that's what the basic. Now coming to payments. Now, one of the key things after checkout is how the payments are going to get handled. So Shopify is something that's being used by a lot of brands online. So they would have services that are not even applicable in Pakistan. For example, PayPal. You can have PayPal set up for international customers. You can express checkout. Then you can have third-party providers. Third-party providers could be any providers that you check out with or you set up your configurations with. So here's a list of providers. Most of you would be able to see that aren't available in Pakistan because the country said the only available checkout is for third party is two checkout, which provides you the flexibility to use Visa, Mastercard, American Express, and other cards that are available. Now coming to the alternative payment methods. So if I click on choose the alternative payment method, it's same as the other ones that are available, or more, all of these are available in Pakistan for now. Then let's select the manual payment methods. So in the manual payment methods, as we were speaking earlier, that cash on delivery can be also set up. You can have money order, bank deposit, or you can create a custom payment method. For example, I want to have a payment method other than COD. I can set that up. People, uh, let's say what else is the provider? Yeah. For example, commonly used is JazzCash. You open up a JazzCash account and you can set up that JazzCash account here, and people can you can set up a URL for that. People get rerouted and they can transfer the money in your account. Yeah, correct. I guess who was it? That was a good thing. Uh, Ushna Batul, yeah, really nice. So let's set up cash on delivery. Uh, for example, delivered via MNP services of COD. So I can add details, or I can say MNP would be the provider to it, or let's say commonly used TCS. And you can have the payment instructions. In COD, you don't need the payment. Payment instructions are basically available when you check out. On checkout, it's available. You can edit the payment instruction later. Then let's say money order, or we can select bank deposit via HPL, and we can say account number is XXXX dash XXXX, and the details that you want to, like the branch name, the account title, or any other information you wanna write there. So what I did was I set up two payment methods, and as it's something on a trial, I'm not able to add the payment providers or the third party apps, which I have done on the other app, which is because it's a paid app. So we'll look into it shortly also. And then the payment capture. Basically, payment capture could be done manually or automatically. From here, automatically means that all using the third party app. For example, if I'm using some card provider, do you want to capture the payment automatically, or you want to manually mark them after verification? So something that it's a reliable process. So for all those provided services, you usually keep it out as automatic. For manual, it's always going to be manual. You'll have to manually mark them as paid, or you can mark them as paid once you get the payment. In case of cash on delivery, it's usually after the delivery you get the payment from the MNP or TCS. So that's how you set up your payment gateways. Then comes to notification. Now, to ease out customers, what we call is user experience, or to make it better, something that customers requires is SMS and emails. So whatever you are paying to Shopify, you don't have to integrate an SMS API or SMS bundle to send SMS to your clients. Shopify handles that for you. All you can do is that you can set up the templates of how it's going to look like. So for example, yeah, what Shopify does for you is it provides you a standard template, and that template is really good enough. But if you want to override it, or if you want to use it if you want to customize it, you need to learn a bit HTML, and HTML is something that's easy and would make you go a long way if you learn it. It won't require much uh, effort, but it's a one-time investment of your knowledge and your to your online business, because HTML would help you customize your pages as well as your templates and a lot of other things here. So yeah, you can see that another confirmation, if order gets edited into, if invoice is basically the bill. If order invoice is sent to the customer, then if order is cancelled, all these informations are being sent to the customers even after shipping or load delivery. All this has been set up accordingly, and you can go ahead and click on, for example, if any email confirmation or how what's going to template look like, you can go ahead and update it also. So yeah, you can handle your templates from this screen of notifications. By the way, all the standard templates are already set up. So once you set up, do try to submit your order and look at how the emails look like. Let me open up if I can find one uh, that I have got. I guess I'll come back to it later. Then the store languages. So as we know that Shopify that is something being used all around the world. So you can manage your languages, store languages based on your region. So for Pakistan, it's mostly English. For example, Chinese are it's how people interact, or how do read about how some regions of the country are more comfortable in shopping or buying or looking at websites in their own regional language. For example, Chinese would prefer a Chinese website rather than an English one. So for that, you can have a multi website and you can manage all those languages from here. So add a language to reach international customers. You can add those languages and mark if, because whenever what Shopify knows is that whenever you log into any website, you know the traffic is coming from which region. So it's part of how the ISP, internet service providers, work. Your basic information or your region is getting shared. So based on that, the Shopify sets the language as per your settings on this page. Now comes the best part about Shopify, that's the checkout process. How do you want your checkout process to work? Now, there might be different of opinion that how you want your customers to check out. For example, the first option that's available is custom accounts. Do you prefer customer account? Do you not prefer customer accounts? So it has been a discussion all around, and but we don't never have a conclusive decision that would customers require an account? Would they be coming back? What's the benefit of having customer accounts? So what Shopify gives you, you can disable the accounts, you can mark them as optional, you can mark them as required. But yes, something that's really good is that customer accounts provide you flexibility to offer them discounts, or you can offer them vouchers or gifts using Shopify. That is something that Shopify also provides. You can see that discounts are coming up here, and there are also gift cards that you can send to your customers, loyal ones, so to ease them out. So you can set, if I set it up as accounts are required, so for every checkout the account would be required, I can keep it as accounts as optional. Now comes the second option, is that the customer's contact. Do you want customer to check out using phone number or email, or you only want to check out using the email? So you can select them based on your need. There are some more other information. Customers can choose to add phone number, email, receiving updates. So every time your customer places an order, email or SMS could be sent. So if the customer has checked out using the phone, he's going to receive an SMS. If he has checked out using an email address, he'll receive an email on his email account. So you can set it up. Then comes, what information does the customer provide on checkout? Requires just the last name. In countries, a lot of countries require just the last name. Usually, if you look at US websites or US, they more preferably use last name. But in Pakistan, we use the first and last name. We can use it first to last name, or you can keep it as last name. Then the company information. If you have a website that's dealing with corporate clients, this is something really important, that you need the company name, that whom you are dealing with. Actually, the person who's placing the order might be somebody else, but you are dealing with a company. So once that is a good information for your analytics as well as for your future marketing purposes. Then if you need an address line 2, address line 1 is mandatory because you need to ship stuff, so that's a mandatory thing. Then the address line 2 is something that you are required, so that the customers break down their information into 2 address lines, or you can keep it as optional like it is. Then the shipping home phone number, for if, for example, like there are cases where people ship to a different address, so for that it's required. But is it, you want to keep the shipping phone address mandatory? For example, I am my one of my siblings lives in Karachi and I live in Islamabad. So if I want to ship something to her, I would like to have the shipping address as mandatory. So depends on how you want to set it up. Then Shopify has an entire module of tipping which you might not have seen in an online website up till now, but there is a way to tip your on checkout. For example, you like somebody's services, you want to tip them something like you do at a restaurant, you can enable that, and customers can add that tip accordingly. Then how do you want to process the order? While the customer is checking out, use shipping address as the billing address by default. If you don't do uncheck it, it's going to ask for the billing address, but it's going to default. But also what happens is, you can, if you keep this checked, it's going to get it default, but if the customer wants to give a different billing address, he'll be able to give it. And then address completion, basically based on the region, because Shopify helps you determine the shipping rates. So you enable the auto completion, and it helps the customer to add a complete good address, so you don't have a fake customer coming up with wrong addresses. So then the next option is regarding how do you want to handle how the fulfillment. Basically, fulfillment is something that you make sure that the customer's order, you have that material available, that or the product available that the customer requires. So personally, I usually keep it, do not fulfill the order unless I've ensured the customer that the order is available and will be fulfilled. So you can keep it, or you can mark it as automatic also. After order customer is fulfilled, archive the customer order. Basically, the best practice is to just archive it, because your front screen of viewing the upcoming orders gets really clustered. So it's better to archive it, because you're able to see your archived products. Or you can have custom scripts on your order fulfillment that can come here. Scripts is something that's a technical language. I won't go into detail, but you can have customer different scripts, and you can read about them if you want to set up them. Then email marketing. So show up sign up option on checkout. Yes, we want to pre-select sign up option. No, we don't want to select sign up option. I don't get. Okay, sure. I'll explain it again. Acha, fulfillment is, what happens is that I can integrate with multiple shipping companies. Now, once to smooth out process, you can have integration with your shipping company. You can have payment account integrations also. We look into it shortly. So what happens is that once the shipping company marks a product as shipped, delivered, so usually Shopify can mark this order as fulfilled. For example, if you have used what we call is AliExpress or Draz, your order gets marked as completed. So your order gets marked as completed and delivered. That's order fulfillment. So you want to mark that as fulfilled or not. So to ease out, basically what happens is what I suggest all my clients or customers or whoever comes to me, I would like everybody to give 2 to 3 days to customers after the product gets delivered, so that they can have a look at it, and after 3 days I can mark that product as fulfilled. So I can add the what we call is script here to mark if after 3 days of delivery there could be a chance that the customer comes back that there's a fault in the product. So I know that which rather than finding it out in the archive, I can have that upfront available to me. So that's what the order fulfillment is. No problem. So yeah, that's how you. Okay. Now you can also customize the checkout language. Your shop could be in a different language, but to ease out the checkout, you can have single language. Your checkout is something that's different, integrated in your website, but it's totally different screen. So how you want to manage the language at checkout, you can do that. So let's save and let's look at the next website. Now gift cards. Everybody knows the concept of gift cards, that for example I have to gift something to my friend from a website, and I want to, for example, if you go to Cardi has gift cards available in a physical form. Similarly, gift cards are also available for Apple Store or the Google Store. You can buy them. It's basically a digital product that you're giving to your friends to buy stuff online. So you can set up those gift cards from here. So let's open up. So you can decide how when the gift cards expire and some basic settings of those gift cards. And then we have the billing options. Basically, billing is what Shopify is charging me for the shop. So all those information comes up here. You can look at it when you explore Shopify. Then shipping and delivery is something we want to look for. Files is basically all the images I load or any other information that I load is coming up. You can manage that from here. Then we have some legal taxes, and we had a view on the sales channel already that what it is. So we'll be covering shipping, legal, and taxes for now. So now comes to shipping. Now shipping is another important point because as you can see, you would see on multiple websites that when you exceed a particular limit of amount spent on an online shop, the shipping gets free. So all these certain things we want to deliver, or we call is certain settings you want to do, it gets done from here. For example, I want a shipping rate for domestic. As you know that while I was setting up the shop, I declared that this shop was based in Pakistan, and based on that thing, now domestic means Pakistan. So Shopify knows what's domestic and what's international. So if I click on the manage rates, now it shows ships from Islamabad. Now the standard rate is free. I think the standard rate should be around about 150 rupees. Then okay, go back, and we can add a condition of minimum weight or to maximum weight or based on order priced. So from 0 to 1500, okay, 1499. I want the system to charge all my at 150 rupees. Now I also want to add another rate. So as you know that I could set up carrier rates. In Pakistan, there's no carrier or shipping company that integrates with Shopify. So you'll have to set up your manual rates. So let's say free shipping. Now free shipping is a cost, and now I to need add the amount. So after 1500, all the shipping would be free. Now internet, I want the rest of the world to get charged at 3200. So I'll keep it at whether it's below or 100, below 1500 or above 1500, because international shipping costs a lot. So that's how much the shipping rates are set up from if I had multiple shops or some multiple locations, I would have different rates from set ability to set up different rates for different locations. So that's the basic delivery. Then comes to the local delivery and international delivery. Those are the rates. Now, what's delivery? Location office. Now we can set up the delivery radius. For example, within a region, for example, your warehouse is set up in Clifton, and for Clifton DHA, you want to set up the 10-kilometer radius as minimum price and maximum price. You can set up those based on those delivery or based on postal codes. Postal codes is something that's not used in Pakistan. We usually it's an obsolete system, but internationally it gets used, and this is something really useful when there's a system of postal codes in the country. So you can set up all these options. Usually in Pakistan, we just define these shipping rates. We are not concerned with local and international. And there is a pickup location also, that which pickup location is where. So you can manage your pickup location. Basically, it's the warehouse or any other thing. Now comes the packages. You can see that uh, which I was talking about based on your volumetric size. You can have packages or the boxes that the delivery courier provides you. You can have had like box envelope or soft package snatchel that we call. What if you don't have any warehouse? If you're operating your business through your home, that a lot of people do that. Your home is your warehouse. Basically, I am calling it as warehouse because that's the common terminology we use. But warehouse, you can take warehouse as anywhere you are stacking your products or you're stocking where your stock is being maintained, be it a house, be it an actual warehouse, be it a shop you are operating. So it's that would be a warehouse. So in an online business, that we consider as a warehouse. So you can look at the size and weight. This is the size and the maximum weight available is this. So when the customer places the order, Shopify also provides you and suggests you with which box would you need to pack this stuff into. So you can manage that also. Now, packing slip template. So you see that whenever you place an order, a slip is pasted on the box. So you can set up that uh, slip template here, so and you can print them with every order you fulfill or you ship. So this is how the template looks like. It's an HTML template. Again, it's a delivered template. It's quite good enough, but if you want to customize it, like add your logo to make it look really good, you can always go back and learn the HTML, and there are easy understanding tools as Dreamweaver where you can copy paste and the HTML, and what comes out is basically the actual look and feel of the HTML template. So you can do that also. Then accounts and integrations, as there are no integrations available in Pakistan, I would not be able to, unfortunately I won't be able to do this. Now coming to the next point. Now for every legal business or any business, some policies are set up. Really, policies are really important. Refund policy, privacy policy, terms and services, and the shipping policy. Basically, what it does is if you create from template, so Shopify does provide you a template. The 30-day return policy, you can update that. If you already have your policies, you can set them up on the screen, and these are then visible at the bottom. If I come here and show you, okay, on the shipping, you will be able to see all those things. So these are the policies that you can set up. Then the last thing that we is important is the taxation laws in your country. For example, if you want to keep all the prices, if you want to charge tax, for example, you are a filing company, and now if you see that 16% is the sales tax in Pakistan, so it has automatically set up. So there you can either set it up for the rest of the world. You can set it up. For now, I'm collecting only for Pakistan. I'm not collecting for rest of the world. So if I set it up, it's gonna set up all the basic percentages of different countries. And again, I would suggest a lawyer would be able to suggest that how you can deal with how the laws work Then how do you want the other things to work? For example, you want to show tax prices of your products with tax included or without tax included. So you see, it gets really frustrating whenever you add a card thing to a card. There's a price, and once you look at the total price of the card, it certainly changes because of the tax. So to avoid such inconveniences, you can just check this, and all the prices would automatically get displayed accordingly. Then you want to charge tax on the shipping rate. If it's applicable, you can charge that. Then do you charge value add tax on digital goods? It's again something that you need to consult your lawyer, or any you need to read about the laws in Pakistan or any country you're operating in. So yeah, I've been speaking a lot. So we looked at some basic settings. Now, we have a front end setup. We have had the legal policies or the process setup. Now, the main thing that we require is products. How we have to set up our products in the system and the inventory management. You can see that under products, there are all products coming up. Then we have inventory transfers, collections as I was talking to you about. Now, if we look at how does now to ease out the understanding, what I'll do, I'll use the other website because that's why it has been set up for today's demo. We'll leave this website as it is because this does not have the products in it, and adding products is a bit of a hefty job. So you can see that I have uh, products on this website, and you can search them. You can have, for example, like I have 29,810 in stock for 12 variants. Now, what is a variant? We look into it. Who's the vendor? We look into it. What's vendor, and why is vendor information so important that it's coming up on the top? So let's open up one product. Now, the product usually has a title, then some description, that what it is, what is the size, or any other thing you want to enter it. On the left hand panel, you will be able to see, is it the product is active or inactive. If you want to have to manage that, this is saleable about different sales channel, but is not uh, can be sold around the over the counter or any other sales channel. You can manage that. Online store, you can schedule the availability. For example, you know that your shipping is coming in like 3 days. You can schedule the availability. Yeah, after 3 days, may mark this as active, so you don't have to worry about it. Then you can add pictures. These pictures could be added from your desktop, or you can use the URLs to import your pictures. Then some insights, as analytics is something that gets populated as the website gets used. So currently there are no insights. This would basically show you trends of how the product is selling and from which reason it is getting sold more. Then now comes the organization that we talked about, product organization. Now we know that we need to add a product type. uh, like for example, this is a camping product, so I can add a product type of camping. Now, the product type of camping would be added in the system, and all those could be grouped based on this camping product type. Then, vendor. Basically, Shopify is commonly also used for drop shipping. Drop shipping is a totally other concept where you don't have your online. Basically, you don't stock some buy things on your own and maintain a warehouse. You are just a vendor in between who is selling product from the wholesalers. So your vendor for one product could be different and the other product could be different. So it's entire other industry that also uses Shopify. So just like Daraz, yeah, good, really good example. It's a bit different from Daraz because on Daraz you set up your store. So basically, Daraz is a platform that collates the vendors, or not the vendors, basically the online shoppers. But vendors could be, for example, on AliExpress, you might have seen that you can have a contract with somebody in China that's providing you the product. So you might get one product from one vendor and the other product from other vendor. So you can manage that information here also. Now we have been hearing about collections. So probably this might be something product type of camping, but it's an accessory. I would like to keep it in under the collection of accessories. So you can see for now the collection added is a sale product. It's because this product is as a sale product. Now the automatic collection that it is part of accessory, because this is something we have set up based on the tags. So you can set up your collections based on different conditions which we look at, and how we can do that we look into under the categories. But let's have an overview of what the product management or the products can be set up. So now comes to variant. For example, let's take an example of a clothing brand. Now you have like a t-shirt. What happens with the t-shirt is that you have sizes like small, medium, large, XL. Then you have colors within those sizes. So to manage that, that's all under variants. For example, the camo, I have this tent which comes in the camouflage, gray and another blue, dark gray and light green. So all these are variants that are coming up, and then there are accessories that are also part of the product. That so I can set up those variants up here. So for example, if I want to add variant, okay, I'll have to change it, so I won't do it right now. So let's see it for a second. So for example, if I have to edit the variant, so you can see that I have a price, compare price. Basically, the compare at price is the original price of the product, and as this product is on sale, so the new price, sale price is 53.97. That is why if I look on the website, this would be coming up in the sale products. Let's go to home. Yeah, it's on sale. So you can see that initially it's starting from, basically from means that this product is on sale. So let's go and open this up and select the variant we were looking at. So initial price is 71.96 and 53.97. So if you look at the setup, it's exactly matching. Now, the next item that we'll look, cost per item. Now it's about how you want to manage your analytics or how much profit you have earned. For example, this tent is costing me $30. So I've set this price at $30. So all the excess, that's $23.97 would be added to my profit. And once you start selling, your analytics gets populated, and what happens is you'll be able to see how much profit are you getting, which product is contributing. So this is a really good thing. And then for every product there might be a charge tax on this variant. You can override it. For example, if you don't want to charge this tax on this product, you can disconnect that. And if one, you can see that it's a 44% margin and the profit is 23.97. So if you charge tax on this variant, your profit might differ, but at the end of the day, you have to submit the tax. Then the stock keeping unit is basically an identity of what this is referring to. It's how you want to manage your stock. You can read about it, what's an SKU and what's the best way to manage it. So there's a product code followed by the variant type and followed by some other things, or you could have a barcode with it. It's upon how you want to manage your inventory, because it's an entire new domain of how inventory management systems work and what's the best way to do it. Then we have some quantity that's available, and there is an incoming. So the transfers are something that's incoming. If you order in advance, you know that this is coming, and once it has arrived, it's gonna add it to the total. So that's how you manage your stuff. Now comes to shipping. Basically, I told you that shipping is based on weight. You can define weight. If it's not that, your store's policy is to sell the products based on a static rate, you don't need these information. Now customs information is also something that requires if you're selling internationally, so all that information comes here based on different countries and their rules. You can set that up also. So up till now, you're seeing that I can set up products. It's a hefty setup, I know, and I'll just quickly move towards how you can import products from different websites, especially AliExpress, that you I want to sell on your. And there's an easy way to do it, and we look into it just in a minute. So for products, setting up products, you can have products, you can categorize products, you can define different variants, you can assign different pictures. You have to look into which products are taxable, which products, what's how you want to ship those products. So with a product, you can set up all those things. It's a hefty setup, I know, but it's a one-time setup that you everybody needs to do. Or the easy way out is if you are buying products from your online stores or AliExpress. In other words, you can import those things from there. So now if I click on inventory, so you can see that all the products, different variants are coming up, and I can set, currently I don't have any incoming, I don't have available. I can set them up. For example, let's say add or set. Add would add 3, save. Now if I want to set it 1, so I can just set 1. It's gonna set 1. So you can manage your inventory up from this screen. And now you know that why I was saying SK number. Now look at, if you want to know that which stock keeping unit is you want to search, you can easily search it by name or by this. So that's why an SKU is important, because actually the product name is not that important, because it doesn't have that description that which size it is, which color it is. So to have an SKU or stock keeping unit is really important. Then coming to transfers. Basically, incoming, it's to manage your incoming inventory. For example, I want to add a transfer that's been shipped from one of my vendors to me. I can browse those products. For example, popular products. There won't be much popular. Let's say this is the popular. Add to transfer. So let's say I have 20 pieces incoming. Save transfer. So whenever I order stuff, I can manage those transfer to E, and it's pending. Once I have received it, I can mark it, and automatically the inventory management gonna add 20 in the already existing one. So that's how you can manage your inventory, which have been completed, pending, partial. For example, while you're setting this as received, for example, 10 of the pieces were faulty and you have returned them, so it's going to end up in a partial state unless the 10 are received. Now coming to collections. So how can you set up collections? So when you're importing, you have the product types, then you have tags. So now you can see that I've set up multiple collections here, and you have product tag equal to accessories. So let's open this up. Let's open up. So collections could be set based on automatic formulas, or you can have manual ones, and we'll create a new one also, so that you can see. Now if you can see that the product title, collection title is accessories, there's no description. If you want to keep a description, you can have 1 or 2 line of description. Now the conditions, now all condition match or any one condition below match. So what the current condition is, uh, product tag is equal to accessories. So for example, if I want to change it to product type that we added as part, we can do that. Like I added camping, so you can do that also. All if for example I had just want to keep a lower price items, so I have this ability to type vendor. You can have shops within your shop. For example, you can have different vendors. For example, you are a mobile accessory store, you have a vendor type of Samsung, Apple, then Anchor. So you can have those collections differently, so people can know that this is for Samsung, this is for Apple. products, or these are original products, something like that. You can, depending on how you set up your products and how you manage them, you can set up collections based on this. Discard changes. Okay, let's go back. Now let's create a collection. Now collection, as we just saw, now I told you there were two types of collections, manual and automated. The manual collection is something, as you add products in this collection one by one. You need to go and tag those products as part of the collection, or use this collection to add those products. And the automatic one is where the condition that you enter creates the collection or the products within the collection. For example, that we just saw, that based on these items you are able to select your collection. Then comes to gift cards. So as I've explained how that was the setup of the settings of those gift cards. You can set up your gift cards up right up from here. I won't go into details because it's another area. Then customers, I have only one customers, that I it's me myself, because I was just playing around. Then the analytics, for now it would be much empty, because you can see that it has KPIs, key point indicators of total sales, online sessions, store sessions, returning customers, if their customers are coming back, and online store conversion rate, how many cart items were added to the cart, and how many were checked out. So that's what the conversion rate, and all this information is available under dashboards. Then you can have the reports exported from your business perspective, to have those reports shared within the team. You want to take them offline and review them, you can do that. Also, the live view of those dashboards as what's happening around, you can view that also. Then we have some marketing strategies. Some That's the marketing domain. You can have Snapchat ads integrated, you can have Facebook ads integrated, or any other abandoned uh, checkout emails. As I told you, if somebody leaves the cart without checking out, you can send them emails based on, or these would be automatic emails. The campaigns automations. Then we have discounts. So you all might have known as how to set up discounts and automatic discounts. Right, and why? No, basically this is something I set up. I was preparing for this website, sorry, this session. So I set up, for example, I basically changed the currency. So if we look here for this website, the currency is PKR that we just set up. You can change the currency based on your need. So that's why. So I don't have the PKR set up on this one currently. So that's why it's coming up as USDs. So you have those discount codes or coupons that we know call as. So you can set up those coupons right here. For example, spring sale coupon is 10% off on all products. Minimum order purchase is 1,500. It's dollars. It's a lot. Yeah. So you can add the coupons from right at the top. Enter discount, automatic discount, and discount codes. We'll look into discount codes. It can be set up based on percentage, fixed amount, free shipping, buy X, get Y. For example, if you want to buy this product, you will get this free. So you can set up all those sort of discount codes. Then there are automatic discounts. Basically, discount code is something that the user enters at the time of the checkout. Automatic discounts is 2% off on buying two or more. For example, I am buying a thing in a quantity of two or more, so I'll get 2% off. So this is how you set. So you can set up automatic discounts also, that get applied to the cart. Now we'll have a quick look at Okay. So we'll have a quick look at how the orders come. If, for example, all new orders are coming up here, what you can do is that uh, you are coming up here, all the orders would be piled up. Or let's open it up. Now you can see that this person ordered this one product now, and what's pending is the payment collect. For example, this order was uh, selected as cash on delivery, and I received the payments. I can mark this as I can send the invoice if this customer hasn't paid, and I can mark it as paid and mark it as paid. Now what it did was it's gonna mark this as paid. Now this mark, and now if I've shipped it, I can mark it as fulfilled. So now still not marked it as fulfilled because you can see that the paid status is gone. The system is still it hasn't processed. Now it's for example, when I started marking it as fulfilled, it's asking for a tracking number so that it can send an email, and it can you can set up those shipping companies based on your need. Other, let's say you can send a tracking URL also, notify the customer, send details now, and you can mark them as fulfilled. Now you know it has been fulfilled, and the customer has the detail. Now it's paid and fulfilled. So that's how you manage your now. I know we are just a little short on time. Let's do it now. You have gone through all the process of how you handle the front end. Now, if somebody is on your website, let's say I'm on this website, and I just like this one of these products. Let's add this to the cart. Now you can see that I opened up. Now you don't have to set up worry about how the look and feel of it. It's already set up. Now I want to add it to my cart. You can see that it's added to the cart. Now I want to view cart. Let's see what's the experience like. I want to add like two quantity. Oh, my bad. I'll go back and have to add it again. So I'll buy two stuff. So now you saw that I had 2% off on buying two or more. So automatically $0.40 have been now. I check out. This was something that was set up automatic discounts. There could be codes also that would be required now. You can see that the information is coming up. I can spring sale was and other discount code. I can apply that on my cart also. If this okay, so once automatic discount, the setup was like this that if you have an automatic discount, you can add the discount code here. So let's add the information. My I didn't sign up because sign up wasn't mandatory. So there's a button coming up, but I don't need to sign up for there. Now you can see, yeah, it's I haven't set up any shipping fee in USD, so there's no shipping fee. Standard shipment, it's free. Continue to payment. This is a paid website, so you'll be able to see that the payment modes that are coming up is bank deposit, cash on delivery, and there's a credit card coming up. So you can pay via credit card also for this website. Let's select cash on delivery. Now, one of the options that we looked into was using the same shipping address that was we selected. If somebody wants to give and different address, they can select. Now I can complete the order. So you can see that you never set up any of this. This is the entire based on what's available on the front end. You can play around with the settings, and now your entire complete process from your products to your order placement has been complete, and you were successfully able to place an order. So that's how Shopify helps you in setting up your online business, and it's a complete entire process of management as well as the user experience that we have that we can get from the uh, Shopify as a product. It's a one complete solution. As you saw, payments were getting handled, products were being managed, inventory was being managed, and all that was being done under one roof. So that's why the possibility of, no, not the possibility, basically, what there is, what I would call is, it's a one-stop solution for everything you want when you want to have to set up your online shop. So I would take any questions you guys have, and I'm sharing the link to the feedback form. Well, the circle representative was having an issue with the internet, so she got disconnected, and I'll have to close the meeting now. So I've shared the feedback form. I hope you really enjoyed the workshop, and you learned something today. And I hope that you'll go back and explore it. And when the time comes, you look into Shopify and set up your online shop. So any questions, any feedback, anything you want to ask, feel free to ask me. Do fill the feedback forms so that we know how we could improve these workshops, and how can we improve the delivery. Pleasure was all mine. And if you want to reach out to me, you can ask the circle members to share my contact details, email, or my LinkedIn profile. You can reach out to me with any of your questions that you have in the future, or I would love to help you out in any way. Or you can search my name on LinkedIn. I'll share it on the chat with you guys. So you can search my name on LinkedIn, or you can let me drop my email also. Thank you, everyone, for the session. I'll be signing off. And there's a long weekend coming up. I hope everybody enjoys that. Best of luck for the future.